My name is Alan Gaska, and I compete every day against the demons inside.
This is the Everyday Competitor Podcast. Each episode features people just like you, winning in their career, workouts, and life just like you want to. All because they've chosen to compete every day. Here's your host, Compete Everyday founder, Jake Thompson.
Alan, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Jake. You doing all right?
Man, it's good. It's good. This will air in 2019. We're filming it right before the Christmas holiday. But I'm excited to get you introduced to the Compete community so people can get to know a little bit more about one of their fellow competitors. So before we really dive in, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, what life looks like for you right now?
Yeah, so I'm Alan Gaska. I come from the Houston area down in Texas. So good old Southern boy. 2019 is looking kind of crazy. I got a 1-year-old now. We got another one on our way in March. I do a lot of endurance athletic things. I run the Ironman is kind of where I got started. And then I transitioned into more, I just completed my first 50-mile trail run 2 weekends ago.
Wow, congratulations. What got you into the endurance space to begin with?
Well, I started young in sports, so I started playing soccer around the age of 4, and just played sports my whole life. And I got to the graduation day in college and thought corporate America had the competition that I would like, and didn't pan out that way. So I picked up running marathons and running all of that, and then it just went uphill from there. So I started with half marathon, full marathon, and then all the way up to finishing 50 miles in a trail run.
So I'm curious about the 50-mile experience. One, because I've never run that far, and nor do I think I'm ever going to have a desire to run that far. But one, how long did that take you?
It took me about 10 and a half hours.
Okay. So how much of that is what's the rest look like on that?
So I started out, it was a 3-loop course down here in Brazos Bend State Park that the Tejas Trail Runs put on. And you kind of just do 3 loops. They're about 17 miles each. And the first one, I was clocking about a 9-minute mile, and it hurt. And then going into the second one, you kind of switch to a little more of a run walk. I'm not a professional endurance athlete, so I'm a weekend warrior.
Mm-hmm.
So I train a lot during the weekends and off actual work hours. So transitioned to a walk run. And then in the going into the third loop, I sat down for about 5 minutes and then said, hey, let's finish this.
Man. What are you like during the race? What are you consuming? Because you're obviously burning a ton of calories moving for that long and that far.
Yeah, so I started out with little honey stinger waffles, just solid, because your heart rate's relatively low, so you're able to consume actual solid liquids, or solid instead of just having to do liquids.
Yeah.
So I started out with that, and then going into the third loop, you kind of just grab and just eat and hope it's enough to get you through to the finish.
Man, dude, that's awesome. So what's a goal? Do you have an endurance goal for 2019? Obviously, you've got your hands full at home with a new edition on the way, but what is a goal in 2019 for you?
So I've never thought I was good at what I call maintenance. So I've never really been good at just maintaining certain fitness levels. I've always had a goal attached to training. So my kind of endurance goal for 2019 is not to lose what I've worked over the last, years of my life to gain. I want to maintain it and just stay at a level to where when life at home calms back down, I can hit the road again and start competing against the age groupers.
Dude, I love that. Do you have any races this year, or are you putting everything off until the baby's born and life settles down again?
So I was fortunate. I got a free entry to the Houston Marathon. So I'm doing that in January 20th. And then I pace for the local marathon here in March in the Woodlands.
That's awesome. Okay.
So as far as racing, I don't have anything, just fun runs.
Fun. Marathon pacing is a fun run. A lot of people in here listening are like, he does that just for fun? Like, I run one of those. Like, that's what I train for. I'm not even thinking about pacing. Dude, that's awesome. So for everybody listening, everybody in the Compete community that's just now getting to know you, what's something you want everybody in the community to know?
You know, we're all on this great journey called life together. And, you know, it's just what got me into pacing it is we're in it together, and I got my strengths and you got your strengths. So let's pair it up and let's go forward and make the competition that much stronger going forward.
Dude, I love that. I love that. So talk to me. You've obviously played sports most of your life, it sounds like. You've had that competitive edge in you. Was there ever a point where you realized about competing like in the rest of your life, or have you always had that same mindset on the field as you've had off in life about I'm going to push it, I'm going to push myself, I want to see how much better I can get?
Yeah, I just proposed a question on Facebook yesterday saying, you know, figure out your why. I'm a big advocate for finding out why you want to do something. And someone turned it on me and said, well, what's your why? And I was like, oh, man, that's a good question. And so I thought about it, and I answered it with, I just want to keep going forward. I want to keep proving to myself that we can be better than what we were yesterday, and to just keep going forward and learn those boundaries and push that boundary a little further every time you get a chance.
I love it, Alan. Okay, so what's a piece of advice you would want to give your 10-year-old self?
10-year-old self. I would just tell, you know, it doesn't get easier. Competition gets thicker. Just you got to grind it. You got to keep going. You just muscle and know that you have the confidence within you to just keep going and getting your goals.
Great. Okay, so curveball question for you, for everybody listening that may still be thinking about you running a 50-miler. Mentally, that's a tough game. And so I'm curious, in your head, what goes on in your head? What are you thinking about during those long stretches when your legs are just on fire or numb at some point to keep running?
There was, I forget what interview I was listening to, but it was a recent mom that just had a baby and was training. She's a professional triathlete. I don't remember which one, but she said, if I gave up now, all the hours I spent away from my family would be for nothing. And so in those moments so my moment in the 50-mile was about 43 miles in, I was like, I'm done. And then I looked back on the year. I took a year to kind of gear myself up for it. And I said, all those hours, that 17-mile runs, those just countless hours I was away from my family can't be for nothing. And so you just put your head down and just know that that family that you spent so long away from is at the finish line ready to celebrate with you. So you just got to go, you know, you do it for them and do it for yourself to say you can do it.
Man, I love that. And for anybody listening, the truth in that is beyond just racing. And whatever goal pursuit we have in life, when we get tired, when we get worn down, remind yourself what you've given up to get to that point, and don't let it be in waste. Don't let it be in vain. Keep pursuing to that finish line for those people waiting for you to celebrate. Alan, man, that is awesome. So finish this sentence for me. I compete every day.
For those that can't and those that want to.
Awesome, my man. Well, Alan, thank you so much for coming on the show this week.
Well, Jake, I appreciate the time. My name is, I'm an everyday competitor.
Thank you for listening to the Everyday Competitor Podcast. Visit www.competeforyour.life to learn how you can get connected with other competitors, contact the show, and find free resources to help you compete every day in life.